Namaste YouTube, welcome to Cafe Enoma and welcome to our reaction to Hollywood 7. It seems to be a band or group, Hollywood 7, and we are going to react to the song John English. Now there are two names, literally John English and Hollywood 7. This is the first time single take honest reaction that we are going to give it to this song. This is requested by our patron Big Dan. As usual, we have very little clue about the artist as well as the song, and that comes from giving first time honest reactions to music. We literally get a request, we don't do our research. That's part of how we function, and we like to listen to it. On the first listen we try to understand, do we like it, what about it, and you know how what exactly we liked about the song, and that's what we try and convey to you. That is our way of doing reaction, and that is, I think, the purpose of reaction, that the very first time somebody is listening to or coming across something and giving their honest opinion about how exactly it was all for them. That's how we have been doing, and we have done it more than 7,500 times.
Yeah, you can check out our Patreon page to make requests. Our reactions are always unscripted, single take and impromptu. What that means is we do not have any cuts or pauses between the whole video. Right from the time the camera starts rolling till it stops rolling, there are no cuts at all in any of our videos. So this is a huge distinction between us and everyone else who makes these fake scripted videos on this platform and other such platforms, where they keep cutting, joining, cutting, joining, cutting, joining. They're not showing you what they do in one go. So that is quite dishonest, and we don't want to be like all of them. All those YouTubers and people like that who give fake, manipulated recordings to you. So this is how we do. Our job is to sit down and listen to music. Music comes first. When we started doing this, there were thousands and thousands and thousands of reaction channels. In fact, at that time, it was difficult to get noticed because, there's so many others doing the same thing.
But Sav, you're doing just the right way. We got enough notice.
Yeah, we've lasted this long, more than anyone else on this platform. We lasted, having done so much. No one else has lasted as long as us, and in fact, we are still going to last as long as we keep keeping music first. I think we'll be around for some more time, unless of course the discriminative platform called YouTube decides to do something, what they do, illegal and harsh. So if that happens, yeah, that's a different story. But we'll keep sitting here and listening to music because we keep music first and keep it unscripted. This is the first time we are listening to this artist, I believe, ever in our lives, not just on YouTube. Hollywood 7, and the title of the song is John English. Looking forward to it. This is requested by Big Dan, and you too can request songs like Big Dan and so many of our other patrons and subscribers, hundreds and thousands of them over the last 5 years, who supported us directly and indirectly. So you too can request it on our Patreon page and through many other ways also, as you will know as you watch many of our videos.
She came in one night from Omaha, worn out, 'cause she never could sleep on trains. Took the bus to Hollywood, looking for a room in the pouring rain. With her hair so blonde and her eyes so brown, she thought she'd take this town and turn it upside down. Well, I was living in a hotel just off Sunset. She moved in across the hall. She said she'd be a movie star and waited every morning for the call. So I asked her in to share a drink, but she hardly had the time. A call might come tomorrow. She had to learn her lines. On Hollywood 7, rooms to rent till your name goes up in lights. months went by without a job. The money that she saved was nearly spent. So she started bringing strangers home, trying to find a way to pay the rent. Well, she'd sit down and drink my coffee with nothing much to say, just busy rehearsing in her mind the scene she'd never play. On Hollywood, 7 rooms to rent till your name goes up in lights. Oh, Hollywood 7, you can dream your dreams for $7 a night. Well, I found her there one morning when she didn't come for coffee when I called. She got and brought the wrong one home this time. There were crazy lipstick marks up on the wall. Now she's going back to overhaul, but not the way she planned. There'll be no crowd to cheer her on, no welcome home, no band. On Hollywood, 7 rooms to rent till your name goes up in lights. Oh, Hollywood 7, you can dream your dream for $7 a night. She came in one night from Syracuse, excited from her first time on a plane. She took a cab to Hollywood, dreaming of the lights that would spell her name. So I watched her take a lease on the empty room across the hall, to wake up in the morning just waiting for that call. On Hollywood, 7 rooms to rent till your name goes up in lights. Oh, Hollywood 7, you can dream your dreams for $7 a night. On Hollywood, 7 dreams to rent till your name goes up in lights. Oh, Hollywood 7, you can pay your dues for $7 a night.
Moving story indeed. For one of the millions who go through similar plight in Hollywood or in the whole of America, even in the UK now, these are major problems. There's a show called hashtag Text Me When You Get Home. It's about similar stories, real stories of young girls especially who happen to go out in the evening or during the day and never come home, because someone did something bad to them and killed them at the end of it. So this is a common story. In the West it is pretty common, pretty common. There are hundreds and thousands of girls every single year who, and not just girls, even boys now, children, who go through a similar plight where they may have not gone to a particular place like her, but they go through a similar plight where they just are kidnapped or and made sex slaves or things like that. So it's a very dirty thing that's happening. It's a big crime, dirty crimes, deadly crimes that's secondary, but dirty crimes first. And it comes from a lot of dirty people who have no culture. Now in the West, most parts of the West, there's not much of a culture anyway in today's world. So when you don't have much of a cultural fabric running through your society and through your blood, through your veins, there's always going to be dirty minds, lots of dirty minds with devious thoughts, dirty thoughts. And the result is that, someone like that may have dreams something. I want to do this when I grow up. Her thing is she wants to be a big Broadway star, Hollywood star, movie star. Wants to her name to be on the billboards, etc. But there are many people with many other dreams, girls, boys, who similar things happen to, or even worse things. There are so many movies. One of the good ones to watch is 8mm, starring Nicolas Cage. So, there's it's a beautiful song, talks about one story, and it's sad, when you sit here and listen to music, then that's your only job, to sit here and listen to music and then give an honest, unscripted, impromptu, single take reaction. It's difficult for people like us, for me especially. I'm highly emotional, so when I listen to stories like that and I connect the dots in more ways than most people do. Because of my background as a psychotherapist, psychologist, and counselor, it's difficult for me. It's really difficult because you hear stories of this even now in India. There are stories like that come up. Real stories. It's not just made up stories. Real people stories. When you hear stories like that, it's sad. It's very, very sad. She didn't go back to Omaha as a star. She went back as a dead body, as a corpse, in a coffin probably. So it's sad. It's sad when you sit here and listen to stories like that. Can't talk much about the voice of the artist personally. I can't do that. Or the music, both of which were good in this case. Can't talk too much about that because the lines hit home the most. So it's a personal reaction, and that's what you get when you request songs with us through our Patreon page and other sources. The link to our Patreon page is in the description box of this video. What are your thoughts on this one, Kirti?
This was powerful. This was definitely powerful, and I had the lyrics in front of me. So the thing is, while he was singing, if I didn't have the lyrics in front of me, I wouldn't be able to preempt what exactly was going to happen next. But I was almost reading ahead of what was being sung, and it literally gave me goosebumps when the moment came. What happened the next morning when she didn't call and she didn't come for the coffee. I like how he described it. It's almost like, certain songs are like a story. This is a perfect way of storytelling. They literally string together an entire story within few minutes. So it's like an episode of something that you're watching, but in a musical form. So through music you're watching somebody singing it to you, and it was it was impactful, I would say. While listening to it, you feel what is happening every moment. I like how he described when she came and how things were, and she would share a coffee with him every day, and then she was waiting for her call, and always talking about how she's gonna make it big, and time kept on passing by, and she started running out of money. And I wonder, why is he staying here? Does he want to be a writer or musician himself, or whatever? What is his struggle exactly? She went down. What about him? Or what about the rest? Because this is a place where they are all coming and staying. So what is his story? We don't know his story. But he's at least made it to tell the story of someone else, which is good. These things happen, and there are so many songs, too many actually. There are impactful songs, whichever were made, they were made well, mostly that we have come across, and they leave an impact, but not impactful enough to literally reach the message to those high and mighty of the entertainment industries and the record labels and all those people who control the whole thing, the mafias, that entertainment biz mafias, that these people they rot. There's a completely, the lower level of the whole industry is literally rotten, and you're sitting on something that is built on rot. So layer by layer there's a lot of rot that has happened over the years. It's not a very old culture where entertainment was this rich, and entertainment people became this popular and things like that. Entertainment was looked at as a very meager thing in the past, and it was not something that people would pay so much money, or people would gain popularity and have celebrityhood and have the kind of power that today's entertainers have, whether it's in music, movie, or things like that. It has been very short-lived. or less than 100 years, I would say, or maybe little over 100 years, I would say, because yeah, it all started early last century, and then it has been going on. I don't know how long it will sustain, because the kind of rot that has been building up, and they've been sitting over it, I don't know how long something that rotten can really last, because these things, these lives are not gone unheard. Every life that has been taken, every emotion that has been broken, and everything that has been gone wrong, there has to be a time when there will be a payback period, and that payback period can be really dark for entertainment, and dark for the world as well, because a lot of people find escape and solace in watching someone making them happy, and connecting with their life and things like that. But there are so many stories like these that just remain uncovered. They are just there, and they just keep on happening every single day. Oh, it was a good song.
Yeah, that's it for this one. Goodbye.